Yeah, hey guys, I have returned. I'm just going to do a quick look at the USD whole holistically, kinda. What I have here is the USDX, so the index, the USD index. What I can see, what seems to be happening here at the moment, we've got this sort of thing, looks like it's happening, so it sort of looks like it'll be topping and rolling over. It's kind of how it looks. One important thing to remember when you're talking about the US dollar strength and weakness is this. This is the CME Fed Watch tool. The next meeting was on the 29th of January. That's this month, obviously. A lot of that will depend on. Oh, here, sorry, okay, wrong one again. Here's the next one, which is on the 29th of January, like I say. They're actually calling for a chance of a raising. I mean, really? But anyway, no chance of a cut. So that, the point being is if the market determines, or the market is figuring that there's going to be no cut, then we can expect the US dollar to drop. So that's what I'm looking at here. If we go out a year, this is anything that concerns me about a weaker dollar, which is what that rollover in the USD. And the fact is that they're suggesting out here. Listen to the suggestion. I don't know if you guys know how this works. This particular tool, when banks, large banks and institutions, they don't carry cash. They carry very little cash. They have most of their cash deposited in the Fed, US Fed. And when they need money, they may go to another bank because they don't have the cash available immediately, and they go onto this market here and say, look, we need some money, want to borrow some money briefly. They might do it for a brief period of time, just to fill them in. And they do it between themselves, so it's ongoing and constant. And this is the rate when they make those when they loan each other money. This is the rate at which they. This is a reflection of the rates at which they borrow the money at the particular times, however far out they borrow it. So this isn't sort of anybody's opinion. This is what banks are determining and lending through. They're making financial decisions, and their financial decisions based on that. And these are the guys that talk, who are the money. This is the decision they make. So that's 12 months out, and they reckon there's better than 0.5%, 50% chance of a cut. In fact, possibly more than one. So, and if that continues to rise, if it gets more and more likely that we're going to get another cut will make the US dollar get stronger. I'm not going to explain that at this point in time. But okay, at the moment I'm still looking at a weaker US dollar, but watching that particular chart as well. As I said, this seems to be rolling over, suggesting a weaker dollar. I'll go to another chart. These are my new pivot points thing that I made up. And this is in a bearish thing. I have them now as, this is my bearish template. And I've got a bullish template as well. If I was going to look at this on a bullish point of view, why am I so far back? I would look at it from this point of view here. And then I'm a bull, and this tells me my buys and my take profit zones. In the monthlies, in the weeklies, and this is the dailies. So we're looking at the dailies, or maybe the weeklies at the moment, but I'm just looking at this, and I'm going to go back to the 4 hour. And like I said, I've determined that I've decided I think this is rolling over, and I'm thinking the market's pricing in no more rises. Although 12 months out, they're suggesting they could be, but that's 12 months out, so we'll just have to keep an eye on that. But here's what I'm looking at. So for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, close to 5 months, the move has been down. So we've been in a bearish move, and I don't see any change to that at this point in time. So from here, that was the high, and that's where we are. So that's a clear downtrend, unquestionable, and there's nothing here to suggest, even off that double top, we only went up a little bit to a double bottom, double top, and we've been down ever since. It could be argued this is a double top, bottom there, but I'm going to get rid of this, trying to keep my charts clean. So that's a bullish one. So I'm going for a bearish one. So I'm going to go bearish on the daily, weekly, monthly. And there you are. So right this minute, I am in my monthly bear zone. Now, what would I be looking at here? Because of all this big movement we had recently with, assassinations and missiles and bombs, and then it all turns around. There's been a lot of activity, so I feel the market's pretty much got over most of its big move for this month with the NFP coming up on Friday. So in my view, I don't personally plan to take any trades there the rest of this week because of the risk factor with what's going on, and then holding them over the weekend with in the current climate in case the missiles start flying again. I just wouldn't be comfortable with that. And with NFP Friday night. So Friday night. So here's what I'm thinking. This is my sell pivot here. This is my weekly sell pivot, and with all this activity going on, it actually started quite nicely and then failed. And with bombs flying and all that, what can you say? So I'm coming up at the moment to my monthly sell pivot, and also this 200, which has worked 1, 2, possibly 3 times. So that's my plan. Now, as this price goes up for this month, we will be looking at, I'm just going to extend this. We'll just pretend that's an extension of the 200. Now on the Friday, whatever happens between here and Friday, if this price continues to go up to the 200, these pivots will continue to rise with price action up to here. Now if we end up Friday with, or Monday morning, whatever, end of Saturday morning for us, by about 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, or 8 o'clock in the morning or something, as the US is closing, all that, blah, blah, blah. We end up in this zone here, remembering that these pivots move across by one day, right? Because they just do. It's just the way the platform works. And we're in this area off the 200, off the weekly sell, and off the monthly sell. That is a sell all day long. That's if you trade the USDX, which I do not. But what it tells me is that in that area, I'm going to be bearish the US dollar for next week. All right, so that's what I'm looking at there. So going then from there to the Euro USD, which I am prepared to trade. And where are we here? Well, look at this. We're right on the 200 right now. We're at the bottom of the two standard deviation from the mean on this channel. What do we call it again? Excuse me, I've just had a bit of a brain freeze there. On the linear regression, it's 2 standard deviations. So it's 1 deviation, 2 deviations off the mean. So we're down there, so that's looking like it may want to turn there. So this price action here is similar. What happened here is what I'll be looking for happen down here at this point in time. So at the moment we're at the monthly buy zone, because remember I'm now saying based on the USDX, I want to be bearish the US dollar, which means I want to be bullish the Euro USD. Why you want to be bull the Euro is beyond me too, but I'm just reading the chart at the moment, reading the technicals. So for tomorrow, like I say, I'll be extremely careful buying this with missiles flying and with NFP coming up. It's just, mate, anything's possible. Anything's possible. So I'm looking at it for next week's, from next week's point of view. And like I say, this is the zone I'll be looking at down here, and for a possible move up next week. Now what would that mean? So this move here, if price goes up from here, what will my target be for the month? My target for the month would be to this level here. And that level will be 113,423. Alright, so that would be my target for this month off this level if we get this move. So I'm looking for a reversal signal down here early next week, at the end of this week, for that move up there off on a weak dollar. I can go and look at the other ones later. Now if you extended this, I would suggest that's probably going to work well in with this too, so I'll look at this zone up here. So that's it, and for next week, for our next week's target, I would go this would be my next week's target up to there, which would be 112.12, so 112. Right, yeah, that's it. Okay, bye. Where is this? There it is.